Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Juliet Ansubuga is my name, and this is Rest TV. Yes, Rest TV. Womola. How are you doing? How is your morning? I believe it's really beautiful. Yesterday we had an amazing time talking about public shame, and I went home and I pondered about everything. Most of the time when I'm talking here, I'm also speaking to myself actually, because I'm not perfect. So when I try to reflect about me and how I'm living my life, how am I engaging with society and everything. So I went home and I pondered about everything, and trust me, I was blessed as well. I was also blessed by what I said yesterday. So I believe that you were blessed too. This is Straight Up. Let's talk. We speak honesty, truth, reality. We say it the way it is. Things that you don't want to talk about are the things that we actually bring out here and talk about Monday and Tuesday. Well, I promise to come back with impacts of shame and also how you can cope with shame. How do you cope with shame? What does shame do to you? Because most of the time things happen and we don't look at the outcomes. It has happened. We just give it a deaf ear and all that. But actually something like public shame or shame itself is something so big, and if it happens to someone, of course there's going to be an outcome, an impact. There's something it's going to do to them. It's either negative or positive. It depends on how they've handled it, or how have the people around them been able to help or to stand in the gap with them. So let's talk about the impacts of shame. Well, one of the things it does to you, or it does to me, or to whoever is facing it out there or who faced it, it kind of makes you feel like you are flawed. We usually use this word, we are human. Everyone has flaws. Yes, we're not perfect. We have flaws. But this makes you feel flawed up, like you have a lot of flaws. You have a lot of flaws, you get. So it kind of makes you feel like you're all flawed up. You're all like you're not deserving. Every bad thing is on you at that particular moment. You're bad, you're this, you're like. It makes you feel like you've got a lot of issues around you. You don't fit in society. Why don't you be like other people? Like, it makes you feel like you're flawed up. It makes you feel so different. It makes you feel like as if you're an alien or what. Depending on whatever came out to light that people got to know about you anyway. So it kind of makes you feel flawed up. Like it gets you all flawed up. That feeling comes forth when that shame knocks on your door. It can lead to social withdrawal. Yesterday we talked about you trying to be away from friends and you're hiding yourself. You don't want people to see you. You can't move. You're all frozen up. Well, so what it does to you, it kind of like brings about social withdrawal. You don't engage with people like you used to. You don't you had people you had favorite sports, you had your hobbies ongoing, you had this and that. So you kind of withdraw from everything, your friends and every single activity that you were engaging in. Why? Because of shame. Because what do people say? So you tend to withdraw yourself from everything, friends and family. You tend to hide away. Shame leads to addictions. I think you've seen people that something happens to them and they engage in drugs. Others start drinking. Others start sleeping around. Others start, going to weird places they've never even been to. They engage with they get a specific group and they start, how do I even call it? Straying around, being like going into a group of stray people. So you start straying around unnecessarily because you're just trying to cover up that feeling. You're trying to kill that feeling. So you get addicted to something. So it brings about addiction. You start drinking, you start doing drugs and all that. Why? Because you're ashamed. So literally you find yourself like, what's there to live for? I don't deserve it. I'm this and that. You get so something like that. You get addiction. You get an addiction. You get addicted to something that takes away that feeling, that takes away the pain, that you feel when I'm in this crowd of people, maybe they won't judge me. When I do drugs, who care? It's my life. After all, what's there to lose anyway? So you get, so that kind of thing, you get addicted to something. You become this I don't care person. You lose yourself. Your life doesn't make meaning anymore. Yet that's not the case actually. Yes, shame has happened. What do we do about it? How do we get back on our feet? How do we become different people? How do we learn from it? How do we learn to live a positive life? How do we raise from that darkness and to spring up light? You get, so you tend to get addicted to a lot of stuff. Shame leads you to become defensive and shame others in return. We talked about the hot response. Yeah, it being an impulsive reaction that comes up when the shame comes out and people know stuff. You tend to react very fast, so you become defensive. It can lead you to become defensive, that if you know some other person's secret, since you don't want to be victim like alone, you don't want to be in that whole hot soup alone, you bring up also others and you bichi, so you don't want to be the only one facing the shame, so you also shame others in return, which is not a good thing, though we do it. Like I said, it's an impulsive reaction. And later because by the end of the day, actually losing a friend who would have stood by you. You get, so because you want people to also be in the same chibas with you, and you face the shame all together. But most of the time that doesn't work, by the way. People go with the first information, so they'll go with you first. You get, so that's how it is. It's kind of like an impulsive reaction. So you try to defend yourself. You're trying to find ways of how can I defend myself? How do people take their eyes off me and put them somewhere? So you tend to try to be defensive, and then in the end you tend to shame others, which is really not good. Shame may lead to physical health problems. Yes, it leads to physical health problems. We've seen people that are abavudde ku bizimbe ne bagwa ate n'atafa n'amenyeka bumenyesi. You get, so we've seen a lot of things, people trying to commit suicide, people trying to do a lot of things, just to harm themselves, cutting their wrists, because it is shame. Chize. So you're trying to be like, I wish the earth could swallow me, and be like, I'm not, people don't see me like, but again, so you want to be invisible. So you're looking for all ways of how can I be visible. Others, you even end up not eating, not doing anything, like you lose yourself, and kind of like you end up in starvation, because so you're damaging yourself in all ways, because of course when there's and you just can't eat, you can't drink, you can't sleep. Even when you be there like 3 days pass, a week goes, and you're not eating, but you're just growing slim. And you're not even realizing it, by the way, but because you're trying to figure out, like you feel you've lost too much. Like a lot of things are, you've lost it all. You don't know how you're going to come back. So that whole ruckus that is going on in your mind tends to puts you, there's a way it puts you in a physical, a physical land whereby you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't even care about yourself anymore. You're all looking weird. Like you feel like death is the only option. You want to, you just drink yourself stupid. Like there's a lot that happens during that period. Trust me. So you end up endangering your life physically. Physical health problems. You get ulcers. You get what? Drugs. You're hurting your wrist. You're doing what? It gets you, like by the time you're out of it, you're gonna maybe you've been even sleeping around, you end up getting STIs, STDs, or over UTIs, how do they even call them? So HIV, you get, so all that kind of scenario, physical health problems come up because of shame. And it blows you out, and like you become totally very, very different. Shame leads you to depression. It leads you to sadness. Enaku, enyike, no nakuwala, no beranga. You don't want to talk to anyone. You hide yourself. You don't want to talk to anyone. Like you create your own world, and you end up in depression. Depression is one of the things I fear, actually. Maybe here in Africa we don't look at it to be something serious, but it's really, really bad. Like depression is bad. It's like someone having panic attacks, someone having anxiety. Those things, you look at the word and like anxiety, it's a good word when you sound, like it sounds nice when I say it, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. But trust me, those things are not good, by the way. They are really, really so bad. So depression is really something, me personally, I fear it. And if anything happens to me, I tend to, collect myself, so I don't go, because the moment you hit depression, a lot of things, you lose a lot. People don't understand you. Like, it's really crazy. I think one time I'll talk about depression to depth so you can really understand what really depression is, because most of the time we speak about it and people just think it's an English word that whatever, maybe it's just a headache, but it's really, really not good, trust me. Shame leaves you feeling empty and alone. People leave you because bagambani agenda okusemberera oyo. So people tend to, if you don't have good friends, actually, even your family members can actually leave you, by the way. I think it's just a perception of someone. They can't stand with you, so they tend to bakuvira. After all, you ofuse chiswalo, you're all shamed up, like you flowed up. You get so bakuvira ne bagamba atujja musembere because they're scared. Bagamba mbulira goyita naye. Nkubulire babyonyumya, something like that. So they don't want to be tebagala kusemberera abantu abo. Obadde okola ki? Bannange nze mbadde simanyi, wadde mbadde mukwano gwe naye nze mbadde sibimanyi. So they don't want to take it, they want that shame to like go to them as well. So they tend to leave you alone. You become empty, you become alone. Nobera weka toina goyogera naye toina kuzamu maanyi, like that, because the people that actually left alone nabera mugundi eyo in that situation, and they are all alone. No one talks to them, not even their family members, so it kind of leaves you in that kind of place, empty and all alone. It brings about lowered self-esteem, of course. Boswala, you can't talk anymore. We talked about this. Like the behaviors, like by the way. Oyogera, you're stuttering, like you move your head is down, your shoulders are slumpy and all that. You get, so obviously your self-esteem, if I'm confident and I'm moving into an office or I'm moving into an environment or a society, or I move with my head, straightened up, my shoulders, all straight, because I'm confident, I'm fine. But the moment something comes out and I know trust me, the next time you see me, I'll be like this. I'll be counting over stones down while moving. So my self-esteem is gone. My confidence is gone. I've lost it all. What am I going to say? Why am I even holding my shoulders high when I know I have something that people know that you're not you get, so I lose it all. I lose it all. You start, because of shame, you start becoming a people pleaser. Why? So you tend, now look at me right now. I'm this kind of person that minds my business. I mind my business. Like I'm not me, I don't do people. I do me. What you think, that's your problem. I really don't. Me and people are. I just tend to mind me. Like I keep my distance away. Like that's why me I do something and for you get hurt, and me I'm moving on. I know how people are. They want to be explained to. They want apologies. They want you to understand them. They want what? Me, I don't expect things from people, by the way. I don't do that expectation stuff. That's not me. I don't expect things from people because people can disappoint you anytime. So me, I'm me. I do me. Now, if shame comes my way with my being, like me, because that is who I am. That is me. That is my personality. Trust me, my personality is going to be crushed. Shame. I'm going to start squeezing my shoulders on people because I want to please them. I want them to have mercy upon me. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain that pleasing thing, like people pleaser. You tend to be, you become a people pleaser. You feel like you want to do things for them to to see that change in you, to see that difference in you, kind of like that. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Because right now, I don't follow people's program except my boss's program. Like that's how it is. But it's not a bad thing. I think it's just a personality that you just have, and people just don't understand it sometimes, and people are not going to understand. Not everyone is going to understand you, by the way. So don't struggle to be understood. Do you, be you, because if you're not you, you're missing out on a lot. You're actually trying to understand people instead of understanding yourself. Because if you understand yourself, but wait together, it will be so easy for you to choose even the crowds you stand in. Never together. You're going to be in the wrong crowds at all times. So me, that's what I do. I understand myself. So that when I meet someone, I know tujja kusobokagana or not. You get? So that's what's up. So this whole thing of shame brings about that people pleasing game. You want to please people. You want them to you get what I'm saying. What else? It may lead to perfectionism or overachievement, of course, to counteract the shame. You want to live, maybe you've been in Masaka, then you leave, you come to Kampala, excuse me, then you come and you want to achieve, they say, but then you maybe run and leave the place because you couldn't take it. So what do? You come in Kampala and, God willing, ofunye sente, like everything has changed. You're no longer the other Katamba in the village. So when you go back, this whole thing that you've achieved, you become a different person. You have a car, you have a house, maybe you've even married. Like, so it's kind of like you want to counteract the shame by your achievements, but by what you've done, by that perfectionism that you've brought up. So you come out in a very different picture. Ozo ina sente kati olabika bulungi si ogoli katamboli gwe basanga lyasibe ebyayi mu mpale. So you're totally different. So whatever you did in 1990 tebajja kubijjukira. And that's how human. That is how we are. I'm sorry, but that's just how we are. You get? It's like when you get pregnant. And then your guy is broke, and then you messed up. Then you're like, then you go with your guy and then you make money. Do you know when you come back to your mother's house, she's going to welcome you. The moment she hears a car hooting, beep, she's going to come out. And she'll be the one spreading the news of how her daughter got the boat is all stocked up with food and all the grocery and everything, buto, whatever. You know that it's going to be a different story. It won't be the other shame of woman I'm not telling you guys to get pregnant. I'm just telling you like how this whole thing, like how people do stuff to counteract the shame. Because we're choosing in a different picture. Actually, chukwane guts or kudayo. So that's how it kind of like pushes you. Cheese, yes. You face the bitterness, you face the judgment, you face it all, but it kind of gives you a push, to become a better person. That is if you use it, you use that situation, you learn from that experience and learn it and and get something positive out of it. You get? What else? Shame may cause you to avoid talking. I'm just imagining me waking up and I can't talk, yet I can talk. Like I lose my voice, not even losing my voice, but because I don't have what to say because of the shame. I love talking. I love communication. So shame you can't talk. No one wants to hear that. Like we don't want to know. We don't want to know. You get? So that's how shame does. Those are the impacts of shame. You can't talk. If you had meetings with people, tebaja kuwuliriza bigambo you anymore after all. Oyo musajja nabe yakola webiti twabimanya. Oyo mukyala twabimanya. Muwala wa gondi. So you can't talk amidst your peers. Those are the impacts of shame. So how do you cope? As I finalize, how do you cope with shame? Explore your shame. How do you explore it? Yes. Chitusewo oswadde ofunye olubuto olufunidde ku lujja. Your parents were expecting a lot. Obadde muwala wa gundi kukyala babamanyi babakuziza bulungi. Yes. But stuff happens. Life happens. Olufunye olubuto. Explore it. Don't abort. Let that baby grow. Give birth. And see how you can actually lift yourself up from whatever, from that shame. Because actually from shame is where glory comes from. That's where one thing I know is that's where testimonies come from. Testimonies don't come from everyone that testifies, it starts from pain. Kino kyabaawo nali ndi bwenti bansekereranga, like this bayogerangayo bati bagamba sijja kumalako bagamba, from shame is where testimonies come from, but you have to first of all explore it. When you explore it, chikuwa push okulamba okola nnyo weefaako nodda bujja, and then you start thinking ahead, because by the end of it, the life is going to go on. Abakusekerera nabo bagenda batambuza obulamu bwabwe, so you also have to ensure that your life actually does go on. Embrace the shame, don't hide from it. Okay, maybe you can hide for some time because of course wekikugwako soka kwekweka, it's human, wekweka nogaba nange, but after that, embrace it. One of the things my mom used to tell me, you're getting pregnant when the how they advise us as growing. Bofuna olubuto chobo omanya terwekwe kanti ogenda do what she used to do. There's how she used to do it. Mbuto so adunyi gana nerudda munda. The moment you get that pregnant, like you get the pregnancy, it comes, it grows. So lolo nyine to lukulopa ne wogamba tisijja kwogera. Lolo ujja kuvayo lukolechi lugambe banange nzuno. So you can't hide it. So that's how shame is. It's like if it's out, it's out. Chiba chize. Embrace it. Take it to be the pregnancy, Embrace it. Chize. Mwana gundi airubuto. Embrace it. I've seen people that have bazalide kunzija z'abazadde baabwe, and right now they are supporting their parents. Ate bazadde benyine ababagoba ne bagamba agenda otuswaziza nerinnya tuli kutujjeko, even disowned you. Now they are the cornerstones, yet they were the rejected stones back in the day. You get? So embrace the shame, but do it positively. Treat yourself with kindness. Omanyi, there is people judging you when you're not judging yourself. There's the time where people don't forgive you, even when you've sought out for forgiveness, but there's you forgiving yourself. But there's people forgiving you and you don't forgive yourself. There's people trying to be like, banange, mami ngolabi, yatenga gote wesa aside. So there are people there's a time where people are kind to you and you're not kind to yourself. So try to treat yourself with kindness, because it all starts with you. When you're not kind with yourself, when you're not kind enough towards yourself, when you don't love yourself, when you don't forgive yourself, so it starts with you. Because when you forgive yourself, when you treat yourself with kindness, you're going to blossom out of that shame. You're going to come out of that pain, that confusion, whatever it is. Seek out for supportive relationships. That is from people that can actually help you. People that are not going to judge you, because in that moment, judgment is going to be everywhere. So you have to seek out for the people that, you know what, they won't judge me. Maybe bajja kumpuliza, maybe bajja kuntegeera, maybe nja munnyonnyola. Ategeere bannange nakikola. Nachikola mu butamanya, oba nali bwenti, nali muto, nali musiru, sabitegeera, because the things we do nga tukimanyi tukikoze, but tukula, people tukula. You grow up, you evolve. What do you want? We grow up, we evolve, we become different. You get that? So, you can talk to someone professional, someone, someone, because you always bagambe kumeteri kyawo kyalo kyonna kiyinza okukyawa naye nabaye muntu nga bazadde bakuvuddemu mikwano gyo, and someone you didn't expect naje nagamba banange, you know what, don't worry, I'm going to stand by you. I'm going to be with you until the cloud clears. I'm going to stand by you. Nabeerawo naawe mpaka this whole thing is done, until you are fine. There's that one person I have that I know they will always be there for me, like no matter what. Even though I have done something wrong and I call them and I'm like, you know what, I've done this. They won't judge me. They won't what? They will come and they will talk to me and we will go through it, and they will, they will advise me. They will tell me it is wrong, but this is how we are going to do. Like, I just have that one person, and I believe you also have that one person. Bottom line, public shame often cuts deep, but self-compassion and self-love can be helpful tools for smoothing away the scars, it leaves behind. Public shame often cuts deep, but self-compassion and self-love can be helpful tools for smoothing away the scars it leaves behind. Compassion, self-compassion, and self-love can actually help. Those are the two tools I can live with you. We've talked about self-love, that we talked about It all starts with you. Bwe seeyagala teri agenda kunjagala. Bwe seewaana, me, I love blowing my own trumpets. But they say we shouldn't. But if I feel good, if I feel smart, if I feel, nice, if I feel clear, yes, I'll blow it. Because what if the day ends and no one has blown any trumpet for me? I'll blow it. So have compassion towards yourself. Love yourself. Practice self-love. It's the best tool that I know of. Me, I love myself. You may not love me. Truthfully, being straight, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Neyagala nnyo nti sifa na ku byoyogera. That's how much I love myself. I don't care what the world says. I don't. Because bwe seeyagala, ani agenda okunjagala okusinga nze? Well, that is all I had to share with you today. Because someone is there, please, I love myself. And you should also love yourself. Omanyi weeyagala, ofuna ne chance eyeebuulirira. Wewala n'emitawaana mingi by the way. Ebitu ebimu obibuusa amaaso. N'ogamba sijja genda mu ezo ntalo. Sijja kuyomba n'ono. Because weeyagala nnyo. That's how much you love yourself. That you avoid trouble. You avoid ebintu I don't know. I used to rant. Nali njagala nnyo entalo. Nali njagala nnyo kubanga But the moment I learned that not every action, not every si buli kyempulira, si buli ekibaawo kyetaaga my reaction, nayiga okukkakana, nayiga okweyagala, nayiga okuwuliriza, nendekera okwogera ennyo, because I used to speak so much and listen less. So I learned how to listen and speak less. But that all started with self-love. Kwa neeyagala ennyo, namanya nti waliwo ebintu byenina okwejjako nti kati kino kiveewo, kino si kyetaaga, okitegeera. So love yourself, have compassion towards yourself. Well, that is all I had to share today. Juliet Nasubuga is my name. This is Straight Up. Let's meet next week on Monday, Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Rest TV is the place to be. Have a blessed week.